Right, let's get this going here in a second. I'm just making sure all the streams get up here are running real quick. Like Twitch is working. Well, the Facebook's group is not working. Is that? Let's see. All right, it looks like it's up and running. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream today. I'm just getting started for the day. Today, I'm working on paper cut light boxes. Let's see. For Christmas presents, and so I'm kind of working on this new one. I've already been cutting. For those of you who've been kind of watching for the last couple days, I've already been cutting a bunch of these different types of light boxes, and so today is going to be a new one. The concept is that it's a couple on a log looking at kind of out over this river. Here, I'll kind of show you what the SVGs look like. It's a little bit hard to tell from this view here because you're only seeing the lines. But this will be a 6-layer deep light box with LEDs behind it. So you'll have this kind of light coming through it. And it has this very nice yellowish look from the LEDs. So that's kind of the idea for right now. I'm just going to be doing a couple test versions today, fixing any problems with the SVG, and then going ahead and producing about probably 8 or 9 of these. So here we go. Back over to the Glowforge here. And let's get this first cut going. So I've already set up the Glowforge. It's got a 8.5 by 14 piece of paper, and then underneath it has another piece of paper that I'm using as a sacrificial piece. 0.025 is the height, I believe. And then I've also gone into the design and modified it. This design was set up initially for by the author for people who were cutting this with an X-Acto knife, and so I'm changing this and kind of modified the file to make sure that it will cut well on the Glowforge. And so I'm just checking all these little pieces right here to make sure that I cut the big piece last. The reason for that is that these little pieces have a tendency to blow around. This front piece may be troublesome to cut. So I want to cut all these little small pieces first because I know the paper will still be flat. And then as I'm cutting those, I want to start doing these smaller full cutouts so I can keep the paper flat before I do the final bigger one and then the outside edge. Also, for those of you who are joining us, I have a Discord channel that's up. I'm streaming in so many different groups right now that if you ask a comment in the group, they may not see it. So feel free to join the Discord. The link's uh, in the description there, and I'll be glad to answer any questions you have about Glowforge if you're thinking about buying one, or if you have one and you're working on a project and you want some advice or just want to show off a project. That's always fun too. So let's get this first cut going. Now I haven't cut this one yet, so this will be the first time. I just did the layout last night for changing all of the colors in the SVG file. So 3 minutes 20 seconds. That's not bad. So I'm using the highest speed available on the Glowforge, which is 500 by 90. So 90 would be power, 500 would be speed. That's worked really, really well on my other cuts. You can see how the air assist fan's kind of blowing stuff away. That's a problem if it goes over a spot where I want to cut, because it may not cut all the way through. So then I have a choice of either using an X-Acto knife to cut it out, or recutting that particular step. All right, so while this one's cutting, let's get the next one queued up. So it's coming along really nicely. Yeah, you see what I mean about those bigger pieces, though? They'll have a tendency to flop over, and like that one's going to be in the way when it starts cutting the line here. So I'm hoping that the air assist fan will blow it out of the way. This first cut's going to be a little bit hard. I may have to figure out exactly where to put the magnets to hold those bigger pieces down. We'll have to see on that. Yeah, see it. Oh, it moved out of the way. That's perfect. All right, let's take a look at this first piece. Oh, so that was a little bit in the way, I guess, before it blew away. So there's this spot you can see right there where it didn't cut through. So I'm not super worried about that. It's that's in the part that's caught by, or is covered by the wood. So I don't really have to worry if there's a little rip there or anything like that. Go. There's only a couple spots that need to be weeded. Here, for example. When you're weeding these, you really don't need to have tools or anything like that. Put your finger behind it, put a little pressure on it, and it will pop up, and you can just kind of knock it right off. Most of the times when you're doing weeding on this, it's because there's one little tiny spot that didn't quite cut. So that looks really good. Came out really well. Let me put this over here real quick and reset for the next one piece. Come on. And so what you're seeing right there is the part I was talking about before, which is the sacrificial piece of paper that blocks the Glowforge laser from bouncing back and burning the backside of the paper, because you're pushing light through the paper, and you don't want to see those burn marks when you light it up. All right, get this next one started. Hey Dina, how you doing? I'm doing a different light box this time. I just got this random message supposedly from CNN News saying they want to interview me. I think it's a scam. It's funny, it has an @CNN email address. I'm wondering what the Genevieve Ishtar says, Scott, I appreciate you helping the group, but I can't have your referral code displayed like this. If you're not able to remove it, then please remove the post. Okay. It's in the stream that's going out to Twitch and Facebook and YouTube and a bunch of others, Genevieve. So I don't think it's that big of a thing just to have it at the top of a video. especially since it's not actually like the direct referral code. It's just a link to my website. So, feel free to drop the post out of the group if it's a problem. All right, so let's cut this next piece and see how it's going. Oh, huh. It's a little bouncy. Let's see if I can fix this camera a little bit. It's a little bit bouncy for some reason. Yeah. I think it's a little bit better. Dina, I don't know why they're asking me to do that. If you want to, you can go to you can see it straight on my stream on my we're friends on Facebook, so you can see it on my thing. Or else you can go to Twitch. It's twitch.tv/laserdotgg, laser.gg. So I don't know why the Glowforge group would require me to drop my stream, but that seems a little strange. I'll talk with them later about it when I'm not in the middle of streaming. I mean, personally, I think it's a bad thing to tell people not to help other people, but you know, hey, I don't run the group. Also, I've been doing it for like a week now, and no one said anything. Oh, I try. It's it's strange. I mean, it's not like I said, I'm not the an admin in the group. I just do mentoring of people. Let's get this piece out. So pretty good. I think there's only like a couple small spots that need to be weeded. This one's a little bit difficult to get at. I might just use the tweezers for this when I sit down at the desk. But yeah, it's coming along great. Let me put this one on the desk here real quick. I can weed that one little piece. So when's your Glowforge gonna get here, Dina? Did they give you a ship date yet? Hopefully before Christmas. Put this piece in here real quick. And let's get this next cut set up here real quick. January 2nd, awesome. So a good new year. Okay, let's get this next cut going. And we're on this circular center cut. So again, just setting up my cardstock settings. I need to reorder the cuts here real quick. So I want this outer cut, these smaller cuts to go first, this bigger cut to go last. That one to go from there. Basically moving from smaller to bigger along the way. Alright, let's give it a try. By the way, Dina, if you want, you can always join the Discord channel. It's a text and audio service that just runs through the web browser, or you can download a client. And it's great for being able to talk to other people. So, for example, if I'm not streaming and you have questions, I'm hoping to get enough people in there that we can all kind of just chat and people can help each other out. I think the Glowforge group on the Facebook is great. I think it's just you don't always get the instant responses you would in a chat program. Alright, so let's get the fourth cut going. Get that set up. Another trick with the UI here is you can hold down shift when you're rotating something, and it will rotate it in 45-degree segments. So that way you can always make sure that your rotation is level. So I mentioned this before, and I think people just didn't know what I was talking about. So let me show you guys what I'm talking about. I stream with this program called OBS, and this message came in as part of the chat, most likely through my either through the LaserGG site or through my personal thing. And it says, some of your fans wrote to us and asked us to interview them. After a session, we decided to invite them to our studio and do an interview in front of a live camera. Please contact this person to discuss further details. I congratulate them and thanks to their fans. I honestly think that's a scam. Do you guys think that's a scam? I think it's a scam. Because, like, the CNN doesn't look right. Like, oops. If you look at, like, the C, it's, like, raised above, and then, like, the ends are different characters. They're not actually, like, CNN, so I think it's a scam. But if CNN is truly really wants to contact me, I'm sure they'll figure out how. Because you know I'm a big deal. Dina asks, do you do much engraving on or scoring on metal? You know, actually I did. Let me change out this piece real quick, get the next one cutting. I did some business cards on anodized aluminum. There's a supplier called the Ring Lord. It's theringlord.com, and it's a little bit interesting because they're very much into like chainmail and things like that. But they have all these blanks you can use that are business card size. And all you have to do is just etch off the coating, and so you can make you can do things on the metal. They have like dog tags. They have like actual dog like uh, collar tags and things like that. So on and so forth. So let's see. Move this further. Yeah, this one came out pretty good. There's a couple spots that need to be weeded, like right there. But nothing too spectacular. There's a couple smaller spots down here that need to be weeded. Really, really good. I'm actually very happy with how this is cutting. When you get these little small pieces, sometimes the laser is moving so fast that it doesn't always get everything. So it's nice to see that when it does, it's been doing a good job. All right. So this one just needs a little bit of weeding. Live video interrupted. Let me see what's going on with the video here, because it looks like I lost video on Facebook. Oh wow, they booted my video off the Glowforge user group. That's just crazy. All right, that's crazy. The Okay, well, I'm not sure why the admins thought that they needed to remove my stream from the other group, but they did. So, oh well. All right, so let's get this next piece cutting. All right, we need to set this up with the correct settings. Another perfect cut. I think I only have like one or two more, and then I'll be able to start cutting some of the wood spacers for this. I do need to design a different spacer than I was using previously because this has a um, much thinner border around it than the other design. The author didn't kind of like standardize his designs. Okay, so that was 4, I believe. You know, there's 2 of these designs that look exactly alike. So there's number 4, And then number 5. Okay, so I have to do number 5. That was number 4 that I just cut. The only difference between these two is the mountains. The lake has the exact same look, so it's almost it's very difficult to tell them apart. We're gonna switch all this to cardstock. Move this cut to the end. That cut, that cut. Where is this cut? Oh, there's some weird like hidden cut or something like that. I wonder how that happened. Well, let's ignore that for the time being. That cut goes all the way in, that cut goes around all the way around. That cut goes all the way around. Yeah, there was some weird hidden geometry in there. I'll have to figure out where that is. Oh, there's a bend in the paper here. I'm gonna have to fix that before I cut this. There we go. It was like bowed up. Let's try that again. All right, 40 seconds for this cut. And let me open number 6. Okay. Came out pretty good, as usual. My sacrificial, my sacrificial paper here has kind of hit the end of its days. see if we can get this last one going. Lid open. Shouldn't be. Oh, the bottom tray was, when I opened it, didn't close all the way. Okay, do this last cut, and then I'll start working on the frames. This one's really cool. I really like this kind of like stars look. Ugh. It's moving in really, really towards the front, so see if I can get a better view on this. Yeah, the stars look really good. The fine detail is really nice. Come on, focus. I believe. I really need to get a better lamp. Better lighting in general. This lamp keeps sliding off because of the vibrations from the Glowforge. And falling down and almost killing my foot each time. Come on. Oh, no weeding at all. That came out perfect. That's really nice. All right, let's set up here for some wood. I still got to do the design real quick, but at least get the wood set up and ready to go. This piece is kind of bowed, so let's use a different one. Oh yeah, this one's much better. You see me tapping it there, and what I'm doing is just trying to look for spots where it's kind of come up, because I want it to be as flat as possible against the bed, and that's where those honeycomb pieces come in. The honeycomb pins come in. They work really, really well. Okay. Let's switch over to Illustrator here and start working on the internal pieces. What I can do in the meantime is cut this last outer piece. Or the spacer piece. Because you need a front spacer that's the right size out of a single piece. So I'll cut this real quick. It's almost too tall. Turn it sideways. It's a little bit wasteful. I'd rather do internal pieces, but actually I think what I'll do is I'll wait on that. I want to use this internal wood somehow and not just cut it and kind of hopefully in the future use it. So let's design something here real quick. All this other stuff. All right, so the frame. Okay. Now, what I did before when I was doing this is I had this other system where I had made these little cross hatch pins in this. But I get the feeling that this is just too narrow to do too much of a cross hatch pin. So what I might try and do instead is I want these ones to be these taller ones to be shorter. I might do is just do something like this, where this longer piece extends down with like a tooth or something like that. So I can just kind of put these shorter long side ones. It's not the most efficient from a cutting perspective because you're cutting something that's long right here, but then just kind of sticks out, so you can put less per page. But if I do just these really long pieces, I would get less per page as well. I wouldn't be able to use that internal side. So let's see. I'm going to play around with this. I don't exactly have a specific idea of how I'm going to do this. I mean, ideally, not ideally, but obviously you could just put a line across and then add a little tooth on one side and call it a day. But it's not the most stable when you have when you're shifting, like when you shift left or right, you have like a kind of a torsion on it. How do I want to handle this? Well, let's do some measurements first. And since I didn't actually make this file, I bought it off Etsy. I'm kind of having to clean up after the author. So that's 11.3 millimeters. And I also know that the bottom is also thicker than the top. This should be more than 11.3. Oh, well, that's interesting. Yeah, sorry, the top is thicker, I guess. This is, let's call it 875. I'm in the middle here. 7. Yeah, call it 875. And this is 11, 11.25. All right, let me start writing some of this down, or else I'm never going to remember it. Let's see. Okay. So the top is 11.25 mm. Bottom is, I think it was 8.7. I'll just remeasure it. That's why you always write down your measurements. Uh, 8 point. 8.65. And then let's look at the side here. That's 11 millimeters exactly. And let's look at the right. I have a feeling the right's going to be exactly 11 as well. No, the right is actually off. Is less. The right is 9.12. Which means I'm gonna have to mark each one of these and cut them individually. I can't just cut a top, one top or one short and one long, which kind of sucks. Okay. Let's try. Try doing that. So I want this top piece to be longer. I guess if each one has to be its own piece anyways, because they're all different sizes, it doesn't quite matter if there's a little bit of difference between each one. So let's try this. Let's find the center here. Center of 11 is going to be 10 point, or is going to be 5.5. So there's Oh, that's interesting. I don't know why that's showing up. Hang on a second. Sorry about that. Okay, let's see. If I move this over, guides are locked. All right, so what I'm doing is I made a guide, and now I'm going to move it to 5.5. Hopefully move to 5.5. I don't think there's a way you can, like, in Illustrator. I'm going like 5.53. There we go. 5.5. Okay. Let's then make another guide. Yeah. Let me lock this guide. A little bit. Okay, so I moved that guide on this layer, and now what I want to do is move it off. Let's say by 0.3. Let's go 0.5. In either direction. And then what I'm just doing here is I'm just setting this up so that I can draw a line and then a little tooth to kind of come down and lines. So I can just go like this. I can make a little tooth. Helps if I actually have color on these. We'll go down 3 millimeters approximately. We'll go to the side until we intersect. And I'm sure that there is a better way to do this. I just I'm not thinking of it right now. And I'll probably just smack myself later and go, why did you do it that way? But right now, this seems like the easiest way to fix this problem. And so essentially what I'm doing is I'm making this this cut line right here so that when this cuts out, this will have this tooth on the end that will fit right inside. I probably should do is actually extend this slightly and have like 2 separate teeth that go on the outside to kind of give it a little more stability. I think I'll do that real quick. So let's extend this. And then what I want is a line from about here to there. A line from here there. Line from here there. And a line from here Now I have this kind of like tooth that will go out, and it should sit flush against the against it. So I want to make sure all of my lines are the same thickness, all my strokes are the same thickness. And then you can't just leave it like this. You actually need to go in and use the join tool. And so you just select all, and then roll it over this right here. And it's just connecting all these paths together. You need to do select all between each path connection. But now I have a single piece path. Sure this connected everything. I don't think this one connected right here. There we go. So if I was to select this, and let's say I just copy it and paste it, it looks like this. And so that, for me, means that this piece right here will cut all the way across. What I will end up doing is I'll be breaking this path right here, and then connecting this in so that I don't have to cut this thing as a square. I can cut this as single lines going vertically. So I'm going to path erase right here. And I'm going to path erase right here. So if I do that, how did I get a duplicate? There we go. That means I should be able to finish this other side. I should be able to put this piece in the middle over here. And then just shorten these paths. So that top piece will look like that. And then if I cut this, right here, I cut this again, there, I should be able to select all of these little pieces. Oh, did this not cut? Let me cut this real quick. I must have cut the other one, the duplicate, accidentally. Alright, so I cut that one, and I cut this one. I apologize for making the screen jump around all over the place. I'm just kind of trying to hit all of my spots. There we go. That's piece number one. And so with things like this, typically what I'll do is I will copy it to a different file. Mostly just because I don't want to deal with accidentally losing a piece. And then what I just have to do real quick is connect these. Come on. I know you want to connect. Yep. That should be fully connected now. There should be a single piece. And I can delete this extra anchor point. Because what you don't want to do is have a bunch of just random anchor points laying around, because sometimes it'll mess with the cut. Perfect. Oh wait, there's one extra anchor point right here. You see how I only have anchor points on my corners? That's because I don't want to... Perfect. Okay. So, because I don't want to have random paths in there, because it will cause problems. So let's do this one now. And then I want to rotate this 180 degrees. Put this right here. Yep. And then let's cut these paths as well. And I just want to make sure that I'm not etching anything I shouldn't. Let's delete that. And let's delete that. We're going to use the path eraser tool. Cut that. Cut right here. And we'll select this, this, this. And this. Move them over to this untitled one. Let's connect all of these paths together. Now the path eraser or the path join tool is really smart. So if something's not exactly lined up or anything like that, it's working pretty good. Now that that one's done, let's get rid of these outer edges because we don't need those anymore. Let's get rid of these guides. Need those anymore. And let's copy this top piece. And break these final paths. Okay. All right, connect the paths again. Let's do it one more time for the bottom layer. And I'm going to go back and check for random anchor points. On all of these. Oops. That didn't get when it deletes like that. When you delete an anchor point, that means that the paths didn't get merged. Sometimes you'll have a problem where it just doesn't want to merge the two paths, and you have to move one of them directly. So you click on it, and then you click on it again, and then you should be able to adjust it appropriately. But it's moving the whole thing. Oh, I think the problem is that they're actually overlapping each other. So let me move this path back a little bit. And then let's adjust that. Yeah, these two paths just don't want to merge. There we go. Nope. It's still having problems. What is that? All right. For some reason, when I did this one first, it it caused this path and this path to connect, and I don't know why. Let's do this one first. Oh. Okay, that one connected. Sometimes you'll get this where it doesn't want to connect, so you can just delete the path there and then move this path over. Hold down shift until it's straight. Now there's something weird with this path right here. What if it accidentally became a compound path? Let's undo compound paths, ungroup, Control Shift G to ungroup everything. Let's go anchor the other side real quick. Make sure that that's not the problem. Yeah, this spot right here, this piece, just doesn't want to connect on either side. So I'm going to delete it, and then I'm just going to redraw it from scratch. And all you do is just use your mouse wheel to zoom out, hold down Control to go sideways, use your mouse wheel with Alt to zoom back in, and bada bing, bada boom. Now let's see if these paths will join. Oh yeah, I think that worked. Yeah, that worked. Okay, so there was something bugged about that one path. When I redrew it, it fixed itself. But I'm still having trouble getting this side. Oh no, that merged, I think. Yeah, that merged. Okay, so that problem is solved. Let's see if we can get the rest of this to merge. Bada bing, bada boom. One full piece. Okay, let's make sure that we have all of the anchor points out. So these bottom pieces, anchor points are fine. These top pieces, anchor points look fine. And these ones look fine. Okay, so that's the inner spacer frame. I'm going to copy this out, take this back to the original file. Actually, I'm just going to undo the original file so I don't destroy everything there. So let's align these real quick. And all I'm going to do is just line these up by size so I can cut them kind of effectively. Ooh, before I do that, I actually forgot. I need to mark these. These aren't going to be visible to the customer, but what I don't want to do is cut these out and go, oh, which one's the bottom one, which one's the top one. Again, normally what I would do is I would just make this myself, but the artwork doesn't really work for uh, uh, for this because the author didn't make these sides the same length or the same width, I should say. I'm just making all these the same color so they're easy to deal with. And then I'm just going to change these into scores so they're easy to figure out. And I don't really want to go overboard, so I'm just going to put, um, on the bottom ones, B on both sides, so I know which one, which way direction it goes. And then from there, it's easy to figure out because the top ones connect at the top, or the left and right connect at the top, and there's a top up there. So makes it easy, especially since everything will be face up. So the smoke stains will show me, kind of which direction is the right one. Tammy, you said loader, please. I'm not sure I understand. Oh, is it just not streaming before? Sorry about that. Yeah, it stopped working for a little while. There we go. Okay. I think we got it. Okay, so let's group these real quick so that the text stays in the right spot. Just shortcut is Control and G as George, and that will allow you to group something here in Illustrator. Shortcuts help you a lot when you're doing projects. Bada bing, bada boom. So rather than having to cut an entire square, I can just cut these individual pieces and put them together. And that should make life a lot easier. So let's save this file. Save as tree couples inner spacer. One thing I am happy about is overall the general sizes of the outer box are the same. So there's fewer layers, but I can just add a couple extra spacers to make up for that. And that will allow me to not have to redesign the box again. Technically, I could just redesign the box and make it smaller. There's 2 less layers in this, but it just seems easier not to bother with it. So let's save this as a PDF. We got it saved as PDF. Okay. So I'm going to switch back over to the Glowforge interface, and I'm going to add the inner spacers. Okay. Medium maple plywood. So you might be wondering why I have one full size one. You want the front layer to look good, so you don't want this one to have a bunch of markings and T-joints and things like that in it. So we are going to cut one size or one front piece and then the back pieces as well. And then I don't think this is going to fit. Yeah, this doesn't fit. So we're going to put this outside. The nice thing about this is, for right now, for this cut, yes, I'm wasting a little bit of wood with this inner piece right here. And actually, what I'll probably end up doing is just doing this instead, because I can use that inner piece for something else. Oops. If you hold down Shift in the interface, it will rotate 45-degree angles. You can make sure you're doing this right. I'll probably end up using this inner piece for something else, or also just cut a bunch of inner spacers on it. But once I start production, I could put enough inner pieces here for, I don't know. Actually, I can just do that right now because I need quite a few inner pieces. So never mind. Ignore what I was just doing there. Again, you can hold control to zoom in and out when you do your mouse wheel. So, you don't have too much space, but you also don't say like this is too narrow between these two. I'll zoom a little further. You can see how there's kind of this very small space. So what I'm going to end up doing is moving this off the side for the moment until I can get all of these organized. One kind of a little bit of frustration nitpick with the Glowforge interface is that they added this thing that when you select something, it selects the entire area inside of it instead of just the outer box, and so that makes it a little bit difficult to line things up internally when you have an empty space inside of a box. So this one's a little too far over. And I'm just using this line to kind of make sure everything's spaced properly. It's all lined up the same way. I don't know if I don't think I'll have enough for this bottom piece, but we can try it. Okay, so now that those are all lined up, I can just drag this piece back over. Oh yeah, there's enough space. What I know won't work is, I'll just to show you, is that this side piece, I'd love to use this, but this piece is going to be too tall to put right here. So I can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups in there. Let's see how many of these. I think I can look at like 3 groups down here of the outer pieces. So I'll have to cut another piece to make sure I get all of these pieces done. I might be able to move it over and do like one vertical group, but I'm not sure how much space I have. So let me get this all aligned here real quick. You see how much space it makes, how much of a difference just a little bit of space between each one makes. All of these are kind of like aligned already. I might actually be able to get a full another group in here, especially if I move this up slightly. Let's see, is this at the top? Oh, that one was the example one. Let's see, is this all the way at the top? I won't be able to get it because this is actually a little bit outside the edge. There we go. So I won't be able to get this one, but if I move this whole thing over, I might be able to get one on the side here. And again, this is just maximizing your materials usage. It's kind of important because over time, especially as you're doing things, the better you are at like maximizing materials, the more money you'll save and just material you'll have available to you. Because all these little like leftover pieces, they're only really good for making earrings or something like that. technically, if I moved this, I could get a second one in there. But at the same time, like, you want to make sure that your stuff is pinned down properly. So that looks good to me. So that means I got 1, 2, 3. I got 4 groups and 6 groups. So off this one cut. I'm making a paper cut light box. So I was doing the paper cuts, the light box stuff earlier. I can kind of show you what that looks like. Let's see. So what you're seeing is kind of it's a little bit messy, but essentially, let me just kind of show you layer by layer. It's a 6-layer design that has LEDs in the back of it that shine through the paper, and so as you add these layers, you're adding um, this kind of view in the background. Looks really cool. I can actually show you a finished one from the previous project. Let me do this real quick. Oh, oops, that one came apart. Looks like the rubber band broke. I'll have to fix that one in a second. So, let me turn on the lights here. This is the one I did previously. The design, I actually bought it on Etsy. It's not really set up to laser cut, so I had to make a lot of changes to it. But it looks cool like that. But when you add LED strips behind it, it looks like this. Let me turn all this extraneous stuff off so you guys can see it. Yeah. So I still have to put these all in boxes and everything like that, but they came out really good. And if I adjust the light on the camera here a little bit, you'll get a better feel for what it actually looks like. It looks super bright in the current camera view. Let me change the video here real quick. That's about the right purple. And then there we go. So this is what it looks like. Yeah. It came out really good. Once once I got it down, the paper itself only takes about maybe 8 to 10 minutes of laser time, and then it's just cutting these spacers and then the outer box and everything that goes into it. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 of these done. I'm going to be making 25 total light boxes. Um, but yeah, that's the project right now. Yeah, I'm using Adobe Illustrator for the SVG file. Is it really that far behind? Is it still showing me? What are you guys seeing right now? Are you seeing the lightbox, or are you seeing me in Illustrator? Because it looks like on Facebook, the stream is super delayed. Um, oh, okay. So now it just kind of updated all of a sudden. I think it just, I don't know what the deal was, but Facebook finally figured itself out, and it's back to. It looks like it's back to. Like I just put my hand out right now. Let's see, 1,003, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000. 10, 1,000, 11,000, 12, 1,000, 13, 1,000, 16, 1,000, 17, 1,000, 19, 1,000, 20, 1,000. Wow, it's over 20 seconds delayed right now. That kind of sucks. Yeah, it's over 30, maybe closer to a minute behind. I'm going to end the video real quick. I'm going to start it up again and let me restart the video real quick because it's super behind. All right, let's just end Facebook video here real quick. Let me restart it here. Okay, let me get these Facebook groups restarted here. Facebook had like a really long delay. I don't know why. Let's see. For those of you guys on Twitch and everywhere else, I apologize. It's just me another second to get these groups back up and running. All right, let's see if we can get this going again. I think I have this up and streaming on both groups. All right, for everybody who's joining again, I think I got this back up and running. Let's see. Okay, perfect. It looks like it's streaming in both groups. Yay, that's perfect. Okay. Can someone say something in the chat real quick or in the message? Just make sure I'm actually getting messages from people. I don't want to be ignoring anybody. You know, the big, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Hope you can. Is my mic too low? Maybe? Is that better? I think my mic might have been too low. I'm going to start singing in a second. Hmm. All right. Well, let's hope that everybody can hear me. Since no one's saying anything in the chat, I just kind of hope it's working. Okay, so this was the previous one that we created using the art from Etsy. So let's pull this one off and start putting together the next one. Actually, I guess I can just leave it here because I have to start the cut, set up the cut and cut it, or start the cut of the Glowforge. So let's get that going. Okay, so I think someone liked the comment that says that can you hear me? So I hope that means that they can actually hear me. Let's turn back on a few of the other screens so you guys can see the Glowforge. I'll move this over. You guys can see it. Come on. There we go. Where is the actual Glowforge? Let's move that somewhere else. Okay, and let's get this cut started. So this next cut is going to be the frames, the inner frames for this new design. The author, when creating the file, didn't standardize his sides, so I've had to make 4 individual pieces rather than just 2. But I've made these inner frame pieces so that I can stack them up, and I'll show you what it looks like in just a second here. So let's get this first cut going. Move that back a little bit, make it a little smaller. And so what you guys missed, unfortunately, was for the people in the Glowforge user group, was that I just designed these spacers in Illustrator. The reason behind doing this is that if I was only to cut out this one big piece, it would take quite a few more pieces of wood, and I'd waste quite a bit. So let's get this going. There we go. Let's find something a little more interesting to look at. So if I hadn't built it this way, and I had kind of used this outer piece, just a sec here. What would happen is, this is a 12 by 12. I would only been able to get one per. And so I do need one that's like this for the front, but I really don't want to have that that have to cut 8 pieces of plywood for every single inner frame, or every single finished inner frame. So instead, we have this, and I can now copy this if I want to and put it in here, but I'm not going to do that right now. And then the outer frame looks like this, and it has a circular hole to allow the power to come through. It has the inner frame that we talked about. It has an outer frame, and then these connector pegs that connect through, so that once it's put together, it looks like this. Now, this is an early version. I need to do a better job on it, but the frame has these inner and outer pegs that hold the middle in. And so this was my prototype version. And it fits together really well. The acrylic is on the outside for some reason on this one. I think I've forgotten to change that. So if I cover this up and move this closer, you should be able to see. Yeah, see that peg in there? It's kind of hard to see. But anyways, it fits through. Works really well. So I have to do a little bit more work on this to make it work right. And this one fell apart because one of the rubber bands broke. Let me see if I can salvage this without having to put it back together. There we go. Perfect. Alrighty. So this cut's going to take a little bit of time. I will start with. I guess there really isn't a lot I can do while this cut is going on, because I already have most everything Most everything figured out already. This is all laid out. Yeah, there really isn't much I can do right now. I do need to do a little weeding, actually. It's only going to take me a minute, though. There's... let's see. This didn't change back. Hang on, let me fix the video here real quick. Nope. Okay. So on this, when it was cutting out, there was just a couple small pieces that didn't cut all the way through. And mostly you just take a pair of tweezers and just rub it on the back, and those little pieces will fall off. So again, I'm just mostly just buying time until this other piece cuts. I do know what I need to do, actually, is I need to fix some of these cuts here real quick, because I didn't put a page number on them, and some of them are almost identical. So let me do that real quick, so that my next cuts are better set up. Okay. Thanks, Timothy. Appreciate you letting me know you could hear me. Hopefully the delay isn't too bad. Looks like Facebook just has this really long delay on it. So if you guys are looking for a little bit faster communication, check out the Twitch stream. Okay. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I think I have like 10 people following me right now. Oh, I have 6 followers. Hey, that's something. You know. All right, so I'm gonna fix up an error I made with this design when editing this design, I should say, is that there's no page numbers. So let's get that fixed here real quick. Layer 1. Layer 2. Oops. And when I'm doing this, all I'm doing is just putting a number down here on the bottom, making sure it's a score, not a fill, because then I can etch it really easy. And then I'll adjust the placement of them later, because I don't want to... oops, this is layer 3. Did I do layer 2 or did I do layer 3? Yeah. Layer 3. Oh, yeah, see, this is what I was worried about. So I'll have to adjust these later. I don't want this to be in the visible area. Make sure that's a score. 4. Layer 5. I keep forgetting to change these two scores, so let me fix that real quick. Okay, layer 6, last layer. Okay, so here's the trick when you're doing with multiple layers like this. Is if you set up on each individual layer, then I know that the number is going to be where you want it. So now I can just move these down by turning all the layers on. And as you can see, I forgot to change some of them to score and some of them to fill. So I can do that here in just a second. So I'm going to check my score real quick. And let's turn that to black. Let's turn my fill to empty. And bada bing, bada boom. All of my layers are numbered. And so now, when I go through this, and I'm actually going to change this so you guys can see the whole desktop, so you can see the windows and everything. When I go through this, I'm just going to undo these layers, select it, copy it, paste it to this one with once I clear it. And now I can just resave these over the previous layers. Or I could do, if I was doing major changes, I would do versions, but right now all I did was add a number. It's not worth doing a brand new version. And so if I change it to layer 1, save it, file, oops. There we go. Not sure why that happened, but save it also as a PDF as well as an AI file, because you want to have a backup of everything. Original files are always good to have. So let's do this for layer 2. And again, I'm just going to use the same file over again. I don't need to open a brand new file. I don't need to reopen the old file. All I'm doing is just overwriting. And so I select layer 2, save it as an AI file. One of the nice things about saving this as a PDF and as an AI is that it doesn't really matter which one I last saved it as I move forward, because it has both. And I'm just copying. All I'm doing is copying and pasting, kind of semi-centering it. It doesn't really matter because the Glowforge is going to cut it. You're going to place it on the paper, on the object you're cutting anyways. And so this is layer 3. Layer 4. Oh, sorry, layer 3 again. I'm going to adjust my mic down a little bit because you guys seem to be picking up some noise from the Glowforge. There we go. Alright, hopefully you guys can still hear me okay. I've just made it so that when I'm not talking, you hopefully don't hear the Glowforge. Looks like it's picking up a little sound from time to time, but it's okay. It's not terrible. Alright, so we're on to layer 4. I'll save as layer 4. Just keeping an eye on the Glowforge here. Oh, I'm getting some fire there, not much, but let me go check that out. Alright, I got a little bit of fire there. Just made sure it wasn't going to flare up anymore. Nothing terrible. Alright, so let me finish saving this out. That was layer 4. Let's do layer 5. And again, layer 4 and layer 5 are so close in design. This bottom piece is exactly the same. It's just the mountains right here that are changing. So let me go ahead and save layer 5. And again, one of the reasons why I'm comfortable overwriting these files is because I still have my master working file. I'm not, having to overwrite my original files. They're still here in my master file. And since I'm only copying and pasting, I'm not affecting my master file at all. All right, so the Glowforge finished. Let me finish saving this real quick so I don't get distracted. Okay. And now I need to go back to the Glowforge UI. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anybody's comments or anything like that. Okay. Looks like I'm good. Oh, hi Trisha. Sorry, I just saw your comments. I'm making a laser cut light box, so paper light box, for Christmas presents. And I'll show you what they look like in just a minute here. I just need to load some files. So let's remove all these old ones. The spacer hasn't changed. Okay. So layer 1. Okay. 2. Some people are going to ask me, why did you do the layers one by one? When I got the file, they were all a single color and path, and it made it difficult because there's spots that were cutting out and then being blown by the air assist fan, and so the file wasn't cutting properly. So I've reordered all the cuts so that, like, for example, the outside piece doesn't cut first; it cuts last. So I have a better chance of not having stuff blow around and get in the way of the cut. 5. And 6. I'm going to cut another one of these back pieces here real quick. So let's go back to this spacer. Let me get the current one out, and then I'll start cutting the next one. And so, let's see. Let me switch to the view so you guys can see what it looks like once the spacers here are cut. One thing to keep in mind, like I haven't even started pulling everything off yet, but you'll notice that there's this spot. You see where the smoke stain has lessened, like right here, right in front of that shadow? Sometimes that means that the layer didn't cut all the way, or the laser didn't cut all the way through the layers. So if you try and lift it up, and it won't come out. Oh, so now this was fine this time. Sometimes you'll get this thing where it won't, everything won't come out. And I think that may have happened on some of these, either that or it's just caught. Nope, these ones are just caught. I think this one's, yeah, this one didn't cut on the end here. I get it so you can see it. Come on, exposure. So right here on the end. I really can't get it so you guys can see it. Sorry, it just doesn't want to. It doesn't want to focus on it. Anyways, so this one piece didn't cut out. I might be able to save it. Oh, yeah, I was able to save it. So it has this end that came out. So I just cut that off with a piece of scissors, or the pair of scissors. Pretty easy. All right, let's. And it looks like it didn't cut through, but it actually did. These pieces are just getting stuck on the teeth. All right, let me load up another 12 by 12 sheet here. Okay. I got this wood off Amazon. It ends up being $1.40 a sheet, which is, as you may guess, or I may know, significantly cheaper than the proof grade stuff. For the most part, it's pretty good wood. Not a lot of warping or bending or anything like that. And I get this to focus. There we go. It's a little bit darker than I'd like. I apologize, but the light is catching on the glass and reflecting. It's kind of making it difficult. All right, so let's start this next cut here real quick. Oh. I'm looking at the Facebook stream and realizing, oh yeah, I'm not seeing myself in the camera because it's a minute delayed, or 45 seconds or whatever it is. So let's get this cut started, and then we'll start doing some assembly here. Okay. let's separate out these longer ones and the shorter ones. I won't be able to fully finish it this round because I need some more of these long pieces. But I can at least get it started right now. There was a few of these that didn't cut all the way through. They just need a little bit of trimming. Let me see if I can zoom in the camera here real quick. That should help. Okay. So I'm just cutting off these little like hair thin pieces that didn't quite laser all the way through. Sometimes this happens, especially when you're doing kind of quick cuts like that, where it turns really quickly. It's not, but it also depends on like the thickness of the wood, or if this wood had a little bit of filler in it, or the tree was a little bit thicker, or who knows what. So, but again, not really big problems. So let's put all these off to the side here and start putting these first pieces together. And since I didn't number these on the first run, let me pull up Illustrator here so I can see what each piece looks like. Okay. Alright, so piece number 1. So this one is left, it needs to go up. This one is right. 6. And then number 5 has a... Let me see if I can show you what Illustrator looks like. Window caption. Illustrator. There we go. So this is number 5. We have a left. We have right. This is a top. Looks like the laser's doing fine. I need a bottom. This quickie connector design worked really well. The pieces feel like they fit together. They're kind of staying. So my other design was a little bit wasn't as kind of it worked well, but it wasn't as good. I think this one feels like it's going to work better. Okay, so this is the next piece. This is layer number 4. Hello, Laser Geek Creations. How you doing? Thanks for joining us in the chat here. This is left, this is right. So I assume from your name, Laser Geek, that you have a Glowforge and are only sort of into making stuff on the Glowforge. Maybe just a little bit. I am doing great. Just kind of getting this first prototype put together of this new design. I got the design off Etsy, and did a bunch of work on it, but having fun. All right, so that's layer 4, and then layer 3. I think this one's gonna be really cool. I'm actually kind of excited for this one. Are you working on any Christmas presents, Laser Geek? Or are you a little bit more prepared than I am and have gotten them all done? Laser Geek's over on Twitch. For those of you in Facebook kind of going, who am I talking to? I'm kind of broadcasting to a bunch of different sites right now. All right, now we need layer 2. Oh, yeah, this is looking great. And I'm out of side pieces, so I'm going to have to wait for this cut to finish. How long do we have left? Let's see. Oh, another 7.5 minutes. All right, so I'll be on hold for a couple minutes. I might start working on. Oh, I need to fix this one. I might start working on Fortnite. One here in a minute. I started working on the Fortnite one the other day. You know, actually, what I'm gonna do is now that I have the wiring, I'll start working on the wiring for the other one. So let me put a piece of acrylic over the top of this so I can rubber band it. I'm actually really curious to see what this looks like. So once I rubber band this, I'll put the LEDs behind it for the last design, and we'll kind of get a feel. This one is only going to use warm white LEDs, so kind of like yellowish orange LEDs. But the other design should at least give you an idea for how it'll light up. I found a great acrylic supplier here in LA. So I'm paying like $6.40 per 12 by 20 sheet of acrylic when I buy a whole sheet. So basically $90 worth plus tax. So for $90, I get 14 sheets of 12 by 20 acrylic. What's it called on Amazon? What's what called on Amazon? The design. It's on Etsy. Um, look for couple or something like that. I think it's called couple lightbox. But if you just search for a lightbox template, um, you should find one. So there's one more piece that needs to go on this, but I don't have another side slot yet. So let me find another rubber band here. I've been going through them like crazy. Here's one more. There we go. Okay, so let's see how this looks real quick. Where is my finished back? Let's see. Oh, I think my finished back fell down. Hang on a sec. No, that's not it. Just another back. Just a sec, everybody. Let me find. Oh, here it is. It got a little buried. I have so much. Like, I only have a little bit of desk space, so I've kind of like got some stuff next to me on tables and chairs and so on and so forth. So this light design isn't set up for this particular one yet. So I'm using the one for the previous design. Oh, that looks pretty good. It needs more spacing. Let me change the camera so you guys can actually see what this looks like. Where did that go? There we go. So I have to space this out a little bit further because let me get another spacer. It's supposed to have two spacers behind it, or else you get this kind of like super bright strip right here. So just a sec. Let me fix this. There we go. So that's kind of what it looks like right now. It's a little bit more purple. Let me see if I can fix the white balance. Yeah, and then there's one more layer that goes up on top of this. It's this layer right here. So it'll look something like that. What I have to do though on this one is I have to redo the lighting because it needs a lot more lighting around the outer edge and very little in the middle because the middle is overwhelming. Overwhelming. So the outer edge should be very bright to reflected light on the inside. Um, so that's kind of the idea. And Laser Geek says, I don't have a laser. I have a Chinese machine that's been upgraded. And you're all done with your Christmas cutting. That's cool. I'm kind of waiting to the last minute. I honestly I should have started this project in like November, but my wife and I couldn't decide on what we wanted to give out for Christmas presents this year. Last year we gave out uh, wallets, leather wallets that we made, and so this year is a little bit different. I had a little bit more time than I did last year, uh, and I'm starting to kind of like wanting to do bigger and better projects. The wallet project was pretty cool, but I got the feeling that people just kind of like thought it was interesting. Some people use it. A lot of people just chucked it into the um, uh, into the uh, into the drawer and kind of took off. I didn't really use it, so it looks like I missed a message. Barbara says, I'm so excited I got my Glowforge in today, but not the accessory box tomorrow. Oh, that's the worst. That's the worst because you're sitting there and you would love to start cutting and you don't have your crumb tray or anything like that. Barbara, I'm sorry to hear that, but congrats on getting your Glowforge. I know you're definitely going to enjoy it. Um, so let me go get this last cut because then I can start. I can actually finish one of these, and then I'll continue cutting uh, the wood because I know that's going to work while I get these. While I work on some LED designs. So give me a second here, and we'll get this going. So let me switch views so you guys can kind of see the Glowforge. So everything looks like it cut perfectly. I have to switch this up. I forgot to change it from cut to score on these spacer lines. Uh, so now that I have enough of these, I want to fully assemble one and make sure that everything fits the way it should. All right. Oop, that slid sideways. Come out. No, it doesn't look like it came out. Okay. Let's turn off these LEDs. Put this off to the side here. And we'll assemble this last piece. Do I have this upside down? I hope not. I don't really want to put it back together. Yeah, the trees go that way. Yeah, I got part of this upside down. I think I can fix it real quick though. Um, everything's so no, this goes up. Yeah, this goes up. And then this next piece goes like this. So it's upside down. Yeah, right now I'm doing everything kind of upside down, so it's right side up for you guys. Right, left. Bottom. Bottom. Top. Alright, now we need the top layer. We need the outer spacer. Outer spacer. Also need the acrylic. Let's give it a try. Okay, so let's, now that I've got this all put together, let's build a back for it using the LEDs. I'm going to use this as a marker for the moment because I don't have any of the another smaller one right now. That'll give me an approximate sizing. And then I need my LED strips. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see if see if I can fit this in first. So it's designed to have a few more of these back pieces on here. So let's use these for placeholders because they're the same width. They just have a larger internal area. So this one this frame I designed for the one that has 8 sheets. So it's going to need some extra spacers. Hang on a sec, I need some more of my these spacers. Bunch of stuff got knocked over, so give me a second here. These all the same? No, they're not good. Okay. Hang on a sec. 2 more layers of spacers before I can put this in. A lot of rubber bands. Alright, let's see if I can make this work. Ooh, that fits perfectly. Actually, I need one more spacer. But that works. Actually, do I? Yeah. I need one more spacer. That comes out really, really well. Okay, let me put that last spacer in there. Let's clamp this real quick. I just want to make sure that when I'm putting it in, it stays in place. Perfect. Oh, crap. one of them came apart here real quick. Hang on a sec. And then one came apart on the top. I don't know if I can fix that one. Let me try. Yeah. Wires, here we are. That's the only problem with this design, because I'm not gluing it. If you take pressure off, sometimes the pieces will slide. I'm gonna have to reassemble this top piece here real quick. This is only a problem when I'm messing around with it like this. On the final versions, it's easy to keep pressure on it because you just rubber band it as soon as you're done. You don't have this problem. But when you're messing around with it like I was, it sometimes will come apart. Okay. All right. Alright, looks like I fixed that. So let's re-rubber band this. Let's see. Hi, how are you doing? Sorry, I'm a little bit behind on answering messages. I'm putting the first prototype of this light box together. Welcome to the stream. Looks good to me. All right, reassemble this. let's put the LEDs in. So I need this blue, green, this is white, blue, this is, who knows? Let's figure out which this one is. So this is a pure white, like a solid white. So I don't want any of these colors. I'm looking for my warm white LEDs. Those are going to be the ones that will have the right colors for what we're trying to do. Because what we don't want is we don't want this like really bright white color. We want a kind of like a yellowish white color instead. This is the right color. Okay, so let's start putting some of these LED strips together and see how this looks. So what I want to do is, I think I want to do is just do this outer edge. I'm just going to do one color on this rather than multiple right now. And if it works, then we can look at changing it later. So I need my scissors. Now, with LED strips, they're super simple. You see these kind of copper colors, copper colored sections? What those mean is that's where you can cut the LED strip without destroying it. So let's do this one here real quick. And because I'm not soldering these, I'm using clips to connect them, which I need to find the rest of my clips. You always want to make sure you leave a lot of the copper left over. So I will almost always waste one little section of LEDs so that I can have a much longer than normal if I cut it right down the middle piece. So that's going to go there. This is going to start about here. And it's going to go down to... And I don't want this to be too long, so I'm actually going to make this a little bit shorter than necessary. So from here to here, and then let me clip this extra piece. And again, on these ones that I'm clipping, I'm really just cutting off the connector piece because I don't want to deal with having it be too short for the clips, and then I waste a whole string of it. So let's put this here. Go from here. Shoot. From about here to here. And then I need another long piece. From about here to here. Alright, now let me find my angle clips. I might have put them away, but I had a bunch of these right angle clips. They might be in the bag over here. Nope. I might have to figure out if these got put away or if they're hanging out my desk somewhere. But I had a bunch of these right angle clips for projects like this that connect the LEDs together without wiring them. Let me see if I can check my LED area. I'll be right back. I think they're in the living room because I kind of took over part of the living room for this project. Just a sec, I'll be right back. And of course my headset shuts down right as I'm talking to you guys. So let's try this again. We're going to tack this down because we can move it if we need to. Um, all right. Oops. I had this off to the side here so it's not straight. Let's try that again. This time with feeling. Okay. That I think looks good. Let's check to make sure power works on it. Oh, God. I got it backwards. Don't tell me that. It's either disconnected, one of the two. I think it might have disconnected. Let me pull this out here real quick. Oh, you know what it is it actually wasn't disconnected. It's these like paper metal things that they used. They're not fully attached. There we go. I'll make sure to tack those down with glue, with hot glue, um, in the future. You know, with the final version. All right, so let's give this a shot, see how it looks. I'm gonna have to do some adjustments on the computer here to make sure you guys can see it the way I see it. All right, let's try this out. Here we go. That's a little too white for me. Like these LEDs, I thought were more of a kind of goldish white, like a warm white. These just end up being white white. I'll show you what this looks like. Maybe if I add some color. Yeah, let me think about adding color to this. Hang on a sec. So looks like that right now. A very kind of whitish color on the LED. Um, almost like a. So you know, it's okay, but it's not really sexy. Yeah, I'm just not super thrilled with that particular one. Uh, let's let me turn this back to normal. Let's see if I can find a different set of LEDs. I know I had another set in here that was a warmer color. Let's check out these ones here real quick. Those are bright white as well. Let me put these in a box so I know which ones they are. I might need to order some LEDs from Amazon. Yeah, I think I might. You know what? I may have run out of the warm white LEDs, which is of course frustrating. Let's see. These ones are blue white. I guess I could try the blue white ones, see if they look better. Um, hang on a second. What color are these? These might be the right ones. Hmm. Oops. It slipped out. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if this cable's bad or if this LED strip is bad. Let me try cutting off a little section here. Swapping it, seeing if that fixes it. Maybe this cable is just bad. Let's try a different one. See if that fixes it. Yeah, so these are white as well. I have a whole bunch of these white ones. I just don't have any other colors, unfortunately. And I kind of need the warm white, the yellow white ones. Yeah, I think I'm stuck until I can order some LEDs. Alright, well, let's do this. I need to work on the other ones. So I'm going to put this one off to the side for the moment and swap back to the other project. I have a bunch of these that need to be just kind of like finally put together. So I've got to fix the back piece for the other project. Let me get to that phase here real quick. Okay. Give me a sec here. I'm just kind of cleaning up my mess a little bit so I can go back to working on the other project. All right, back pieces. What color are these? I think that's blue. And yeah, it's really hard for you guys to see, but if I do this, you guys might be able to tell that this is a kind of warm white color, like a yellowish color. That's the color I was really looking for, and I think I ran out. So and these are blue over here. I need to add. I need to redo this. Is this glued down? Yeah, it is. Alright, I think I'm going to end up having to order a bunch of stuff off Amazon because this is just missing pieces. So I might end up calling it a day here just because I'm kind of hitting this diminishing returns point with the project. Because if I don't have the warm LEDs for this other one, it's not going to work either. So actually, I've hit a wall, so there's nothing else I can do on the LED side of that today. So I may end up just cutting some more of the paper, and that's about it. Because there really isn't a lot else that I can do today. Let's order up some of these pieces I need on Amazon. So I need LED 10mm. I really need like a bulk number of these LED strips. These connectors, because these connectors are expensive. It's 10 for 588, so like they're 58 cents, almost 59 cents each. That's kind of ridiculous for for a piece of plastic with a little bit of a metal in it. Um, Here we go. That's a 4-pin. I only need 2-pin. Here's 20-piece connectors. Single color LED connector strips. This is 20 for. When will I get it though? Arrives before Christmas. Well, that's helpful. We'll deliver it Thursday. Yeah, Thursday works. Alright, so this is obviously one option. Let's see if we can find some others. You know, it's funny. The 2 pins are more expensive than the 4 pins, which is ridiculous because it uses more metal and it's more complicated, but cheaper. Go figure. If I'm going to get into making these, if I'm going to get into making these, I'm probably just going to do a big order on AliExpress for connectors. These are 5-pin. See if I get rid of space. What is going on with the video? Let's try closing some of this stuff out. That. Your clipboard. I wonder if I've just got too much stuff running. I'm getting all these 4-pin connectors and it's not giving me 2-pin connectors. It looks like my restreaming company I'm using, Restream, is having some problems. So I apologize if the video's cutting out on Facebook at least. It's saying that's cutting out. So apologize for that, everybody. These are 8mm. I want 10mm. You know, I think these side ones were really working well. I just don't know if I really want to deal with having to solder things myself. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to get these double-headed connectors and just glue everything down. These ones are 69 cents each. Decent ratings, not great. Facebook's just not doing well today. Let's see. Let me see if I turn off all these other Facebook windows. Maybe it'll make it work better. It might have been because I was like watching my Facebook stream to make sure it was working okay. Hopefully, it's working okay now. Okay. I think I'm gonna get these connectors. So let's duplicate this real quick. I'm not gonna do the single clip ones. The only problem is like 69 cents each, and you need probably 4. You're adding like $2 to the project for just a little bit of wiring, and at that point, I'm almost tempted just to solder stuff directly. It just seems like it's cheaper that way. Now here's a 15 pack for $6.98. So what is that? 50 something cents per. So if I add 4, that's only adding $2 to the design, but still a lot of money just for these little connectors. If I solder and then I hot glue, I don't think it'll come apart. Okay, so I think that's going to be my my best option is this 15 pack. So let's find a LED strip. I want to make sure it's 8mm LED strip. Warm white LED strip. I really don't care about the dimmable stuff or anything like that. The only thing I want is 600 LED here. So this one is a 16-foot for $8.99. This one has, I want 600 LEDs per meter. A longer strip would be better if the pricing's good. So let's see. I'm looking for at $21.99. Let's make sure this is also not waterproof. That doesn't look like 600 per meter though. I wonder if it's 600 LEDs across the whole 32 foot. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, that's not 600. Oh, that's 600 LEDs total. That's not what I want. You see how close these LEDs are on the strip? That's 600 per meter. If you get the lesser one, it you don't have enough light coming through, and you end up spending quite a bit. Um, yeah, these are non-waterproof. You want to make sure you don't get waterproof ones. I accidentally bought some that were waterproof, and they have this rubber coating over it, and there's just you have to drill into it, cut into it to be able to do anything. So I think I need 2 of these. How many of these do I need? The 15 pack, and I need 4 per. Let's get 3 packs of these. Alright, cool. And then let me get some of these angle ones as well. What's some of these angle packs that are 2-pin? Again, they're so expensive. Here we go. That's 10 pack. Here's a 20 pack of straight ones. $4.99. That's actually a pretty good deal. Yeah, I will keep this one for later. It looks like it's a good deal. Oh, these T-junction ones are pretty cool. Oh, yeah, is my LED strip 8mm or 10mm? LED strip is 8mm, perfect. I was a little worried about that for a second there. I do some interesting things with these T-junctions, but like again, they're 59 cents each. Okay, well, that's it for me, guys and gals. I'm. It looks like I'm having some problems with the stream staying up, so I'm just gonna call it a night. At least as far as streaming goes. Sorry for the difficulties. Good luck, everybody. Have a nice night.